we're here, and it's a very nice space, a blank canvas. You can really get creative. I'm really excited to know your vision for this self-contained studio apartment.
Yes, you're indeed correct. It's a blank canvas, which is really good. That means I have a lot more room to play with the space, as well as the fact that it's not yet furnished. You can either color decorate your place from the walls to the furniture to the tile, or you can start from the decor to the wall. In this case, it will be from the wall to the actual decoration or the decor. What I had done was relied on my color wheel to come up with a color concept, and I had used what's called the triad color scheme, where I'm using a 3-color concept, right, along with a neutral tone to balance out all the colors and glue them all together. And that neutral tone now will be the primary color of the space. And by having that as a primary color of the space, then that will actually help to open up the space a little more, not let it feel too closed in.
Because that was my next issue. I was wondering if the size was a consideration when choosing the colors, because it is a self-contained studio.
Yes.
So the size might be a concern. Does that cause any challenges for you?
Not necessarily, because I mean, I know generally the rule of thumb is that when you use a darker color or a deep tone color in a small space, it further makes the space appear as if it's decreasing or closing in on you. However, you can also use it to your advantage if it is that you want to enhance the coziness of the space, where you want it to feel like it's a close knit. So it all depends on what you're going for. But for this space, I would want it to be a little open, but at the same time, you're able to have those accent colors kind of create a little pop, because it's small, but you want it to be a little spunky, you know, a little dramatic. And I'm actually going to even incorporate the ceiling as an accent wall or an accent color area, exactly. And also I'll be incorporating stencil patterns, which will also serve as a type of accent, because I know generally persons will think of an accent wall as a solid color wall, but it can either be stripes, it can be circles, it can be stencil patterns, it can be a faux finish, which is like a wash or a ragging finish or a sponging finish. So it just all depends on the whole design that you're going for.
Ruchian, it's a very interesting space, and now I want to know your vision in terms of color. What colors are you seeing? What's coming out? I mean, I know you've met with the homeowner, and we can talk about her personality and the colors that you're choosing for this studio apartment.
Okay, well, all right, let me hand you the color story, right?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, what I call the color story is basically a file that I create. It displays the name of the color, the finish, whether it's a low sheen, oil finish, flat finish, the quantity that is recommended for each color. And there's a little special comment column which serves as, you know, basically disclosing what I'm going to do with that color.
That you want.
Right. So basically, the color scheme I came up with right in here, as I said, is just a balance between the warm and the cool. Because sometimes when you have a color scheme with that type of concept, it makes everything balanced and harmonious. Yes, you can have a space that has predominantly or only cool colors, but then if you want that mixture whereby it gives you that bit of calm, relax, but then at the same time you want a little warmth, a little vibrance, then you can have that as well. For this space though, the type of colors I've chosen between the warm and the cool were basically like a mid-tone type of range of colors, nothing that's too deep. The main color of the space is called Lovely Lace. When I say the main color, it will run right throughout, but then you have the pops of color here and there. The other tone I was looking at, which will serve as the accent color, is called Emerald Satin. This is the Emerald Satin.
Oh, I see.
Right? And that will serve as the accent color for the wall that faces the entrance as you walk through or enter the studio apartment. And the other color, or the complementary accent color, is called Very Berry.
I like where you're going with this. I'm getting a very jewel tone, but relaxed.
Yeah, it's pretty much royal. It's a royal space. So when you look back at the color wheel that I was referring to earlier, and the triad color scheme that I'm going with, which means a color design with incorporating 3 colors, when you look at it, right, even the swatch here that has the purple tones sort of matches up with this hair.
Yes.
Right? This swatch here, it closely resembles this hair.
Yes.
And this swatch closely resembles this one here, the yellow orange, the red violet, and the blue green.
So you get that triad.
Precisely. But then now it's down to the tone that you choose to complement each other, because the depth or the saturation of the color is very important, because you don't want to choose colors whereby if they're going to all serve as accent tones, you don't want the depth of each to be too far off from each other. You want the depth of each color to be very similar. And then you're going to have the lovely lace, which is going to combine everything together. So you have the emerald satin, the Martian sky, these three here, and then I'm trying to get the very in there. So you have something pretty much like this, that kind of blend there.
So Rushian, I'm really interested in your approach to the kitchen. It's a
Yes.
small space.
Yeah.
It's very enclosed. So of course, I know that you have a solution for that using color.
Yes, and the solution is pretty simple. Based on the yellow-orange tone that I'm thinking for the kitchen, I'm going to go up the swatch a little, where it's a little more saturated, a little softer than if I go further down on the swatch. Reason being because of the size of the kitchen, I still want to have the color deep enough so it can be visible on the wall and basically bounce off nice lighting throughout the space, and at the same time not to have it too deep so that it makes the kitchen a little too, like overwhelming. Yeah, because this tone can be seriously powerful. As for the cupboards, because yellows and grays, that combination, beautiful. So I'm thinking of the gothic gray tone for the kitchen cupboards. Right, and that was basically inspired by something I come across online, because I like to go online and be inspired by other color schemes that I see out there, in terms of from the European or from the northern side. Now, what's going to really pretty much happen is that the gray tone that the cupboards will take on will be the carrot color or the foreground color, while the backdrop color will be the Martian sky, which is this yellow tone here that will be on the wall itself. So you're going to see this on the backdrop and this on the forefront. So the yellow tone here is going to help to project the kitchen cupboards nicely because of the contrast that will be there. I was thinking for the bathroom to be very different from the rest of the space. It's pretty much enclosed, so whatever color concept that's for the bathroom, it will not detract from anything else. Everywhere else, pretty much the colors are repeated, which is good, because when the eye absorbs it, it won't appear like a masquerade that's going on. However, for the bathroom, being that it's mostly tiled, 3/4 way up, and it's mostly white tiles. So I want to spunk it up a bit by putting this color in there called Tropical Peach. Right, and then there is this wooden frame around the mirror for the bathroom, which I'm going to border it with the emerald satin. So with that, it's kind of tropical feel, this kind of this island feel, with the tropical peach, the emerald satin. So it's under the sea with a little bit of warmth. So that will be the concept for the bathroom, along with the white tiles. And of course, when you're ready to decorate the bathroom with your rugs or with whatever hangings on the wall or the shower curtain or the window treatment, then when you put in those now in the decor, and probably to pick up the colors in some of those from the wall space, then when everything comes together, then it will be very beautiful.
Still more to come on Home Sweet Home. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us on Home Sweet Home. Rushian, talk to me about the importance of preparing the space before you apply the color.
I've noticed with this space when I was doing the walkthrough that there were a few flaking areas and a few areas that seem to have some moisture buildup. For those areas, I'd recommend scraping the flaking areas completely. You can use a scraper for the moisture buildup areas, especially if it's an area that has some mold or algae buildup. You can use like a bleach and water solution, or you can use a soap solution to wash the area off, clean it off nicely, allow it to dry completely before applying your sealer. It can be in the form of an alkali sealer that will help to form as a protecting film between the concrete and the applied paint color itself. If you don't do that, then what you'll run the risk of is that the paint color can be affected down the road by this moisture buildup or by that flaking area that wasn't properly sealed off after scraping before applying the color. I've also realized some holes in the wall, whether due to previous hanging of things or anything else that may have caused that sort of impression in the wall. What I recommend is to fill the wall out, properly filled out, and have it smoothed out before applying the paint. If not, you're going to definitely have imperfections in the wall, and paint color has a way of showing these things up very easily if not prepared properly.
When we return, we'll have a progress report for you.
gosh, it looks lovely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great job. High five. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Roger.
I can't believe she used all the elements to create this cohesive look. The color, accentuating the ceiling.
Like really lifts it, like really give it some more height, you know, elevated look.
You definitely gave this a lot of thought.
Yeah.
Overall, I get the sense that the space is so much bigger than the original space that we saw.
Exactly.
And look at the stencils, it just ties everything together.
Even though it's not visible right now, but your grip and seal was also used on this project.
But somebody tell me the benefits of grip and seal.
Alright, well pretty much the grip and seal is our water-based primer for both concrete and wood. Only for wood, a lot of people tend to venture oil,
right?
But now with everybody going environmentally friendly and trying to be very environmentally conscious, we're trying to get away from high VOC products, and so we went water-based for our primer so that your top coat is water-based as well, and it creates a nice package. So Roshane, tell me what you visualized when you saw this space, because if I remember correctly, the last time we saw it, the color was green on the cupboard, like a very shocking green.
Yes. And when I saw that, I was like, no, these cupboard colors, they have to change. They have to go, because what had happened is that those colors, they really made the kitchen ultra tight. Like you felt like matches in a box, so to speak. So I know that by neutralizing them.
Yes, you definitely went with a softer palette, and it is just giving me a warm feeling and opening up the small space somewhat. It gives a little rough and smooth.
Yeah.
Looking lovely.
Yes, thank you. And what I had done to make the bathroom a little more spunky, because as you can see, it's tiled like 3/4 way up.
Right.
And there was barely any wall space, and then you have the ceiling. So being that the door is white, the grill on the window is white, let the ceiling stay white, but then add a really punchy color to the wall, which is the tropical peach. Yes.
Your eyes travel to the color instead of the tiles.
Yes.
So
that created the accent to the room.
Right. And then the wooden frame on the glass, rather than it being just the dead-on wood, I added color to it and used back the emerald satin on there, let it complement and contrast nicely with the tropical peach. So in there, it's really like a tropical type of feel in there, very pina colada type of feel.
I feel like the Little Mermaid.
Yes, she definitely took us to another space. And your vision, or this space that you envision in a certain light, it was definitely executed very well.
Thank you.
Still more to come on Home Sweet Home. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us on Home Sweet Home. If you're just joining us, you would have missed the grand reveal of our color consultant Rushian's latest amazing project, Sun, Sea.
Tropical Sun and Sea.
Fantastic. I love it. I love the feeling of it, and the space has been so, magnified by the colors.
Yes. And I think that is greatly due in part to the yellow that's used in the ceiling and the general area. So as you enter the space, it really lights up the space from above.
I'm sure that a lot went into this project. Tell us a little bit about the preparation and some of the steps you have to take as a color consultant to take us to this wonderful reveal today.
Well, you are indeed correct. I mean, there are lots of back-end work as a color consultant because you also have to have knowledge on paints, general knowledge. And that will include, you know, making sure you inspect the surface area, propose the right products,
Yes.
whether it's the sealer, whether it's the low sheen or the flat finish or a certain oil finish or wall filling, things like that. You know, what kind of preparation needs to be done with the scraping or sanding, things like that, as well as the quantification of the paint, because
Yes.
that part is very critical because you have to make sure that based on the measurements you take, you order the right amount of paints. In the stage of introducing or presenting the suggested color design for the space, it may sound a little bit choppy, or it may sound a little bit highfalutin, but
I remember
when everything comes together.
in our conversation, our prior conversation, you had palettes flying, there were color charts flying. I was in a sea of charts.
Yes.
And you're pointing to colors and trying to show me how they correlate to each other.
Yes.
And only you could see the vision. Talk to us about some of the challenges that you had on this particular project.
Okay, well, the challenge is that because it's a new space, it's a newly owned property, the owner has not yet moved in. So basically certain basic necessities weren't in play, as in, for instance, the lights had to be on. And of course, you know, sometimes when you expect something to be there by the time it should be there by your
Yes.
service provider, you will
Yes.
have a little bit of delay. So the
Yes.
light took a while to come on. However, Mr. Thomas skillfully got the job done with little to no light in the place as yet. That was a challenge. Also, at first, I had a particular color to be on this wall and the
Yes.
wall opposite this one, which would be the emerald satin from the inside to come out here, as well as the accent walls.
Extend the space.
Right, but then it came to my knowledge that, you know, someone from the strata said, of the apartment complex said it can't work because their policy is that all verandas, all balconies should remain standardized in terms of color.
Yes.
Can't be anything more than cream or white. And it kind of
Curbed your creativity just a little bit.
because it would have really uplifted the patio area. However, it turned out just as nice because remember, if you don't have color on the wall, you can put the color in your decor.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely so.
And it's a neutral color,
Yes.
and it blends well with the neutral colors on the inside of the space.
And that is why the space feels so open from the onset. When you walk in, go straight inside as well. Another challenge was the fact that there were quite many holes in the wall. One of them literally reminded me of the Grand Canyon, like it was really huge. And that's the one that's above the back door that I was pointing out to the Berger rep earlier as well. And now it's filled out, it's all smooth. So, I mean, you'll find that as a landlord, you may have tenants that may not take care of the place as well as you think they would.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So they had a lot of things, I guess, put on the wall that would create the holes when you take it out, like those little hand hooks. So yeah, Mr. Thomas really had to go through and neat and fine it, you know, and
toward
fill
the
it
base
out.
of the wall also
Yes.
there was some stripping as well.
Yes.
We find that that's a usual problem.
Yes, and basically to correct that issue was not only to scrape it off, but also to fill it a little bit to kind of smooth it off, you know. And then you apply the necessary sealer to really seal the concrete to protect the paint color from the acidic level in the concrete.
Give persons who want to paint some advice on choosing a better quality paint for value down the road.
As a color consultant, there's something called a color budget. Not just in terms of choosing the right quality paints where you get longer lasting finish, in that way your spend on paint is not that much. So for instance, if you get good quality paints, you spend a lot, you may spend a hefty amount now, but you won't be spending again until probably 5-7 years down the road, especially with interior paints.
Yes.
Versus getting a low quality paint and you have to spend that hefty money like in 2-3 years down the road or less. So you find that your spend is more frequent over time.
Yes.
As well as even the the types of colors that you choose as well, because you do know that with certain colors may cost more than using another type of color, and that comes where mixed paints are concerned. So if you know you have a color budget that's not quite large,
yes,
then it's best to stick to mostly neutral colors, whereby it costs less to mix those,
yes,
than paints of color, which, you know, the deeper the color, the more it may cost you.
I got a great reaction from you. You were just so amazed to see your vision come to life,
yes,
and I'm sure the client is going to be just as pleased.
I hope so too.
It's been a great journey from beginning to end.
Yes.
Really enlightening.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for being our guest on
You're
Home Sweet
welcome.
Home. A pleasure to have you.
All right, Shelley, thank you.
That's it for Home Sweet Home this week. Looking forward to seeing you next time. I'm Shelly Hill. I hope you enjoyed the program.